Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who have been around and for those who are new, welcome to the family. So I don't know, as you guys know, I've been MIA for a little bit and I don't know how to start, but I needed to do a life update video, and I don't want you guys to think that every time I do a video I always say I'm not gonna go MIA, but things really do happen in my life and nothing has ever really happened like smoothly. Everything happened like it just like was just thrown at me. Like you guys know, I have a vlogging channel, so I was updating on that vlogging channel, letting you guys know that I started keto and I was going back on track. And then I was gonna update here, do a grocery haul and give you an update on how keto was going for me. But unfortunately, right after that, my father ended up in the hospital. And I was vlogging a few times during the process of him being in the hospital. And yeah, I was MIA. So, you know, I wanted to concentrate on him. And he was in the hospital for 3 weeks. And unfortunately, my father passed away on October 16, 2018. It's so unreal to even say that, and I'm trying my best to keep it together because I gotta keep it together, you know. Losing a father is something you can't explain. So I always used to say, you know, one thing that you are guaranteed in this world is that you will pass away. And I always keep that in my head, you know. This is the way of life. This is a cycle of life, you know. You're born, you live, and you pass away. So, you know, I've always been strong, and I always try to keep it together, you know, especially when you have kids. And you know, I have 3 girls, and with me and my girls, you know, they're all different, right? So every one of them took the news differently. I don't even know what to say. Like, my head is all over the place. Whew. All right. My dad's passing was unexpected. My father was on a vacation for 3 weeks to Ecuador, and my father went on vacation. My father has always been a hard-working man, was always a hard-working person, never lazy. And he finally took a 3-week vacation, something he never would do. He'll take a week or 2, but he never really travels. For some reason, these last 2 years, he traveled a lot compared to his traveling days, because he really doesn't travel. But he took a 3-week vacation came back. He wasn't doing that well. Like, he was feeling like down, and he even was saying that he felt off and stuff like that. Like, his pressure was high. He was just not like completely good, but he wasn't to the point where you would think that he would need surgery or anything like that. So he came back from Ecuador. 2 days later, he ended up in the hospital. He ended up in the hospital that night. They admitted him. The next day, I was there. I was there with him from beginning to end. And I could just, when I say it's unexpected, like my father, he had high blood pressure, and you know, sometimes he would get cholesterol, and he really wasn't diabetic, but in his family, diabetic ran. Now, he did have a pulmonary disease called interstitial lung disease, and it's hereditary. And he found out about 7 years ago that he had that. But his lung was like 85%, they say, working. But that wasn't the issue on why he ended up in the hospital. He ended up in the hospital because his pressure was extremely high. So when he went, they found out that he needed a valve replacement. They weren't sure if it was only a valve replacement, so they kept doing testings on him. Found out that he had like a hole that was blood was going in, and it could create a blood clot. So they told him that they needed to do a valve replacement and a maze procedure, which they would like, it's like the ear, and they would like close that up, and it wasn't, that section wasn't a functioning section, so they could really do that with no issue. And they did say though, the last test that they did, they weren't sure if there were any other procedures to be done while they went in, and because he was getting open heart surgery, that there's a possibility they need to do more procedures if he would allow them to go ahead and do that, so they don't have to go back in another time. And of course my father went ahead and said yes. They postponed his surgery about 2-3 times, which got him very agitated, which I don't think was something smart of them to do, but at the same time they had no choice due to the fact that the operating room wasn't available for my father when they thought it would be available. What happens, my father ended up having surgery. They did the open heart surgery, they did the valve replacement, they did the maze procedure, and then they found out they needed to do 2 more valve repairs. He ended up doing that really big surgery. He came out, he was doing good, but his heart rate was going up and down, up and down. So he was getting AFib, atrial fibrillation, which is one thing that they didn't want to happen, but they said they could try to control it. But the medication that controls that can affect the lungs, which they were afraid of because of his breathing, which ended up affecting him at the end because he couldn't breathe on his own. They were actually giving him oxygen throughout the whole time after surgery. And he was fighting that. He was fighting his heart rates, kept going up and down, up and down. It would go normalize, but then it would go back up or go back down. And then he couldn't breathe on his own. He tried. He was getting tired of being in the hospital. My father was the type of person, again, everything he did at him, you know, nobody ever did anything for my father, in the sense that he worked hard for everything himself. Like, it's crazy because I feel like I'm a lot like him. Like, I can't just sit there and wait for somebody to do stuff for me. Like, that's the type of person he was. He worked hard for his own stuff. And like, him seeing himself at that moment where he felt incompetent, like he felt like he couldn't do anything, you know, obviously he's gonna feel whatever type of way. And you know, he wanted to get up and he wanted to leave, and you know, we kept telling him, don't worry, everything's gonna be okay, you just gotta get better so you can come home. But my father never made it out the hospital. And on October 16th, a Tuesday, his heart rate went down. He stopped breathing. They worked on him for about an hour, around 7:30. That's when everything happened, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. And then like around 8:30 they pronounced him dead. And that was his fear, to pass away in the hospital like his father. So my life after that has been a roller coaster, because, and even before that, there's so many family drama that it's just crazy how you can see true colors after someone passes away, or you go through some craziness. You actually sit there and you see people's true colors. And even before my father passed away, there was already family drama. And I'm the type of person that I don't like the drama. I don't like to get involved in issues. It's, you know, I've always been the type of person that if there's problems there or drama there, I'm out of here. Like, I don't deal with that. I don't like the negativity. I don't like none of that around me. Like, my surroundings have to be about peace and love and zero drama. I don't like that. I never liked it. So, you know, whenever I had any issues with any of my family members, I stay away from that. I stay away from that. I don't, listen, I let go of it. I let go of you, and you be you and I be me. You continue your life and I continue mine. That's how I've always been. And oh man, has there been so many issues. I don't know. You know, I am not the type of person to talk things. I'm not the type of person to just talk to talk. I feel like I don't need to lie to no one, because who the hell are you? Like, what's the point of me lying? Like, I'm an adult, I'm not a child. You know, I tell you stuff how it is, whether you like it or not. Obviously, I'm not gonna do it in a way that I'm gonna hurt you, because I don't like intentionally hurting anyone. But I do tell the truth, and then sometimes the truth hurts, you know. And some people just can't handle it. And I'm not the type of person to sugarcoat anything just because you are family, or because something like this happens. I'm gonna go ahead and act, you know, like everything is dandy and perfect and cute and pretty. Because no, you know, like, growing up with my father wasn't easy. The way he was raised wasn't easy either. You know, he was raised in Ecuador. Things over there, you had to work double or triple to get a little bit of what you are given here. He was raised by his grandparents, who he loved very much, but he was raised in a very brutal way, I would say. They used to beat him bad, and not beat him like, oh, I'm gonna hit you like a little tap. No, like, beat the shit out of him. And you know, my father grew up like that, and he thought because he came out responsible, respectful, hardworking, he was just a good man, in the sense that, you know, he took care of his family financially. He took care of his family, you know, food, you know, always provided. He was always a provider, you know. He wasn't always the best in the emotional part, in the loving part. You know, we went through a lot with my father when I was young. And I say we because we all did. Me, my mother, my, you know, my sister, my brother, we all went through a lot with my father. But at the same time, I think that my father went through a lot also with us. You know, when you're kids, and me having kids myself, it's not easy raising kids. You know, it's not easy taking care of another person who's an adult, and you have to be the sole breadwinner of the house, you know, and everything is dependent upon you, you know. So, and that's not to make an excuse for my father, but you know, we were raised getting hit. You know, my mother didn't have it easy either. but I always tried, you know. Yeah, I went through a lot with my father when I was young. And there's a lot, like a whole big story behind the way I was raised and the way that shit happened in my life. And I want to sit down and talk about it with you guys. And I do want to sit down and talk about the family drama. Right now, I don't think it's the right time. A lot of things were said after my father passed away. No, before my father passed away, by my own mother and my own sister. Very nasty things, very unfair things, lies. And I do want to speak on that. I just, right now, I don't think it's the right time, but I will, because you know what, I need to talk my truth, and I need to tell my truth, and I need to let it out and let it go. So, you know, I let them go. I don't talk to them. I don't speak to anyone about them. Like if I'll speak, you know, to my husband or whatever the situation that pops up or whatever the case is, or if my brother comes and says something to me, like I'll speak to him, but I let them go, you know. And you know, in due time I will speak about what's going on in my life and with that, and basically how I grew up with all that mess. But I did want to come up here, and I know it's December already. I didn't know how to sit here and talk to you guys and let you guys know what's going on. Like, I'm still mourning. I don't know how. I don't think you ever stop feeling this void. And like I said, it's something unexplainable. Like when my father passed away, it was something, it is a pain that you will never feel unless you know what it is to lose a father, a parent. Remember, we are part of them, and it's as if we were ripped, like they ripped something from it in me. And like I said, I'm still mourning. And you know, people fool themselves thinking they know a lot about you and how you are, and because they see certain things, they think they know a lot, and they really don't know. And people think that they know you, basically, and they don't. My father was a happy person. My father was a person that loved music. He loved drinking. He loved family. He loved to enjoy his time with his family. He wasn't a lonely person. He didn't like to be alone. If you knew my father, you know my father, every weekend was everybody in his house, drinking, having fun, talking, listening to music. That was him. That was the way he was the most happiest. And you know, to anybody that want to go ahead and say no, and they really don't know my dad. Everybody that knew my dad, that he was that type of person. And you know, he always used to say when he passed away, he don't want to hear nobody like crying and suffering. Like, he rather them listen to music and drink in his name, and you know, live the life, because once you pass away, that's it. You know, you don't get it back. And you know, that's how he was, you know. It's just hard. For those that are going through this or went through this, you guys know what I'm talking about, in the sense that you really don't know what to feel. Every day is a different day. Some days are better than others. Other days are worse than others. I'm not the type of person to sit here and tell everybody, oh look, I feel bad, or I'm this or I'm that. Like, I don't let people know my feelings. Like, if I need to cry, I go into my room and I cry, and I let it out. I sometimes type it out, write it out, put it into my notes, erase it, and never send it out. I feel like, honestly, like I've mourned alone, but I feel like you have to mourn alone. Nobody can mourn with you, honestly. Like, you can only mourn yourself. Like, it's your pain, it's you, it's what you're going through, not nobody else. And yeah, it's a sucky feeling, guys. Sometimes I don't know how I'm gonna continue, and then, you know, I have to remember I have 3 girls, and I have to continue. There's no, my dad, he wouldn't want me to be anyways suffering, because again, my dad was someone strong, and this is why it's so unexpected, because I honestly thought he was gonna pull through, and because he was such a strong person. And just because he passed away doesn't mean that he wasn't strong. It was just, it was his time, and I get that. So I'm not mad at God. You know, people say that they get mad after someone passes away. I'm not mad, and you know, I can't question him, because God is God. You know, I can't question him like I know more than him. I sometimes ask, like, why? Because I want to know. Why this soon? Why at 61? But not in a demanding way, or not in a way that I know more than him, you know. But I know that it was his time, and you know, I pray that he's good in heaven. I pray that he's at peace, and I go visit him every week. I visit him every week since he passed away. 2-3 times a week. I fix his grave up, because I know it's something that he was always a clean person enough. You know, he liked to fix things and make things nice, and you know, I try to do that. You know, some people might say, oh God, what's the point, because you know, he's not here anymore. But and then other people might say, oh, again, when I'm ready to talk about family drama, oh my God, there's a lot that I have to say, but in due time. But yeah, guys, if any of you guys are going through any pain of a loving person passing away, know that you're not alone. I know the feeling, and it sucks so bad, but have faith in God. That's what's keeping me strong. That's what's keeping me going, that I have faith in God. And I know that, you know, I'm gonna be okay, even though some days are harder than the others. I'm gonna be okay. And yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know, I'm gonna be coming back soon. I'm coming back soon, very, very soon. Like in the next 2 days, I'm gonna post a day or so. I'm gonna post a video after this. But I did wanted to come and explain why I've been MIA, and I'm sorry. Yeah, I have to give you guys a life update, because I just wanted to do this video and let you guys know what's going on, and then I'll do a life update with my 1-year surgery and what happened with my job and family drama. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And until next time, I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you for all the people who sent me beautiful messages on Instagram. I love you guys very, very much. You guys don't know how much I appreciate those messages. It really touched my heart. Thank you. Bye.